Am I being deceived? Or are they telling me the truth? I am sure that there are other things we have in common. However, this man you see on screen, his name is Corey Good. We have two major things in common. Number one, I don't know him and he doesn't know me. We don't know each other. That's something we have in common. The other thing we have in common is we both claim that we have communicated with at least one entity claiming to be a blue avian. As you might already be aware, I have the evidence of me communicating with spirits, people that are deceased. Just like I have the evidence that I communicated with God. And just like in the scientific method, you have to be able to have somebody else get the same results. And I have other people getting the same results when they do spirit communications or when they talk to God. And now, there are these entities called Ra, or what I like to call them, blue avians. Hello, I am Anthony Giarrusso, here to tell you that yes, I have communicated with entities that call themselves blue avians, and that these are allegedly the same types of alleged entities that Corey Good, who has claimed to have met at least one of them. So, I'm going to be showing you some pictures. This is what these blue avians allegedly look like. When I was communicating with them, they claimed that they had all different color eyes, including red, brown, orange, yellow, white, and gray. But you want to know, how the heck did I communicate with these entities? Well, the same way I communicate with God, the same way I communicate with all the ghosts in the afterlife. It's not hard to do. Okay? All you have to do is say hello, and things are going to start happening. Now, if you have tried this, you're either A, not doing it right, or B, you're not reaching out with your feelings. My best success after asking God for it, okay, is what I did is I reached out with my feelings. I knew that these things were to be true, just like they say in Star Wars. But you got to do it like on a normal level. Okay, this isn't fiction. Okay, God is a real entity. These other entities are real entities. Okay, ghosts, spirits, they're the same thing. There are ghost entities of just about every single type of entity that has ever existed. You can communicate with the living, the dead, everything. Okay, you can have telepathy and telepathic messages come right to you. It's not hard to do. Okay, I just don't know why you're not doing it. It's either you're literally A, lazy, or B, you have conformed to a way of thinking that is so alien to me that I don't need to talk to aliens. I could talk to you. And you're a human. Well, let's just get into it. I put this presentation together. I'm going to be showing you pictures. Here's a picture from my cell phone, and I'm going to tell you how I drew these. The same way I get the spirits to draw things. The same way I get demons and angels to draw things. I let them take control of my hand, and they are able to control my hand movements. Very simple, very easy. I don't know why you're so afraid of everything. I don't know. That your conformist way of thinking is just, you're too weird for me. Okay? So let's just move on. As you can see in this picture, I'm showing you what the blue avian feather looks like. Now, they literally look just like normal humans, pretty much for the most part. From what I've been told, is that the pictures of the blue avians that you saw earlier, is that the only thing that's kind of not right is probably the nose, except their noses are a bit more pronounced than what you saw in those other images. Then they showed me this blue avian ice, which you see in the next box over. What they told me is they wash their hands once a day, and they don't use soap. What they do have sinks, and they have these sinks that dispense ice, and it's like this piece of ice. It almost looks like one of those Italian Ansetti cookies, usually like the ones that are, they got like a half or a partial circle, and they're flat on the bottom. But on this ice, it has like this little thing that has ridges, and it has a smooth side, and they actually wash their hands in the sink with a piece of ice that looks like that. And they do that once a day. As you can see, the next one was the picture of the blue avian. It's kind of similar, but that's kind of how they drew it for me. I think that was supposed to be like a female blue avian, but I'm not quite sure. I think it was a female blue avian. Now, probably more interesting is how these very interesting fourth density extraterrestrial entities, that's right, they're from another density and from another planet. Their currency, it's actually made out of white quartz. And like the equivalent of the $100 bill here in the USA, over there would be this almost like a quartz coin that has 6 sides and is kind of, has these unique little ridge things on the outside. That's their big one. Then the next one is their least valued currency. That thing that looks like a T and a 5 that's been put together, well, that particular shape would be the equivalent. And then also, like, that shape is like engraved into like this little rectangle plate, and that's worth about 1 cent on the United States of America's Earth currency. So that's really interesting. Then the next picture is kind of like the basic shape of what I think a male was supposed to be. Then I had them draw me a picture like some kind of art. And it's just a picture, and it doesn't really mean anything. And they drew that. Then going down, there's like this thing that looks like an upside down Pac-Man. It's like this moon-shaped thing with like a edge connecting to the frame. And that's just a symbol that one of the blue avians has claimed that they've seen on their planet. And another one, the one on the bottom, is a symbol. They call it Giarrusso, kind of similar to the sounding of the word sorcery, but they call it Giarrusso. And that is actually the symbol for the Senat Vice Store. It's like Senat. It's not Senate, it's like Senat Vice Store. And it almost looks like a upside down V with like this little like rainbow line in the middle. And like I guess you can put your thumb here and your thumb can get stuck in that little corner thing. So that's just really interesting. And they like sell it there. Whatever those little things are. So I've been communicating with the blue avians, and there's a lot of amazing things that they've told me about their world. So this next picture I'm showing, this is a picture they drew me of their house. It's very, very rectangular. They have multiple floors, usually 2 or 3 floors. On the top level, there's no floor, but they have an open air opening that's almost like a plus sign with elongated wide sides. It's just open. And on the top, where the roofs are, they have flat roofs with slight overhangs on each side, even on the front and the rear. There is no glass or windows. They do have access to concrete, like humans have access to concrete. So not only do they look like humans, but they do a lot of things very similar to humans. That's what's so fascinating about me communicating with these blue avians and what they're telling me. I don't really remember what that means, but they called it a carcery building, and it had sinks. And as you can see, there's a blue avian down with like these 2 doorways that are open, and they have these roads, and their walkways are all these tiny little round rocks or stones. They're really pretty, I guess. That's what a lot of people, or at least what I'm talking about people, the blue avians claim they really like those. And they literally walk on these rock roads, or maybe this might be almost gravel or whatever, but it's like their way of doing things, which is really cool. And their rocks are very round that they use for these roads. Going further down, you see this ice dispenser in the sink. Then you have the ice, kind of looking like a bar of soap there, and then you have the sink drain. And their sinks are actually pretty small in comparison to the hand of these sinks that give out the ice dispensing thing to wash their hands. It's probably about, a sink is probably about 3, maybe 4 blue avian hand lengths if you go side to side. And if you go from fingertip to wrist, it's probably more like 2. They're not very big. And not all buildings there have sinks. Like I said, they told me they usually wash their hands once a day. Sometimes they do it twice a day, but that's usually the most that they do. Okay, very different, like here in the United States of America in our time where we use soap. We wash our hands like 7 times a day. Unless if you're a really dirty, disgusting human being that only washes them once every other day. And we do have those people on this planet. It really upsets me, but that's a side issue. This is really interesting. Okay, this is a telescope. That's right. These blue avians are so human that they actually have telescopes. Blue avians have 4 stars in their solar system, and they said that they also had chorsts. I don't know what that is, but that's what they have. Similar to, oh, okay, a chorst. A course is what they call a telescope, which is very fascinating to me. They're not particularly that advanced in technology, but they do have telescopes. And their courses are kind of on like a post. On the bottom, they have like a movable arch, and they have like a thing that's kind of like it on the side that it rotates like a dial, and they can see things really, really far away. They've got a big circular lens. It's almost like in the shape of a mailbox, but it has all these like little mirrors on the inside that allow you to look into this thing and actually see everything in outer space from their planets, which is really cool. Then, I know this is a little bit of an interjection. When I was, interviewing these blue avians, another entity showed up. It was called Cryphy, who is the traveler from a different density. The creature that Cryphy is a Soigio. That's what they call themselves. They are from 7th density, and a lot of the things that they talk in their language, like I can't even spell or understand, but that was really interesting. Cryphie, so it's like Cryphie, is a traveler from the 7th density, and not a blue avian. Just putting that out there. Giarrusso is a guard from another planet, is a dead ghost, is from the same solar system as Cryphy, I believe. From another time. Nope. That's not right, see? It's a good thing I write these things down. I haven't looked at this information in a while. So it's really cool that we're looking at this all together. Giarrusso is a guard from another planet, has died, is now a ghost, is from our solar system and our density, from another time, was from Jupiter from about 5 million years ago. It's Giarrusso, and Cryphy is the traveler from the 7th density. That's all very interesting. And the blue avians have these courses, which are telescopes. I'm Anthony Giarrusso. Make sure to watch part 2 of the blue avians right away. I do like 20-minute segments because most places that I upload, like that's like their maximum. So, have a good day. Goodbye.